Welcome to Korean Cinema Channel. Today I would like to send you the following news. Huang Wenbo and Hae-in, life only grants us two true blessings. The first is meeting each other, the second is staying together until the very end. And their sweetness? It melts people from the inside out. Their story begins quietly, almost like a whisper brushed across fate. No grand fireworks, no earth-shattering encounter, just two people who walked into each other's world at the exact moment they were ready to embrace something beautiful. But the shocking part is this, from the very first glance, they were done for. Huang Wenbo, the man who always carried storms in his eyes, found his tender silence by her smile. Hae-in, the girl who had learned to hide her softness behind laughter, found her guard cracking the second he called her name with that low, gentle voice. People say fate plays favorites, and looking at them, it's hard not to believe it when they stand together. They paint the kind of picture that makes the world envy his tall, steady presence, like an anchor, her delicate, luminous aura, like morning light, one calm, one bright, one firm, one fragile, and somehow, they complete each other in ways neither expected but both desperately needed. The sweetest moment wasn't even on screen, it was during a behind-the-scenes break. She lowered her head to fix her costume, and he instinctively reached out to help her. His hands trembled, the tips of his fingers hovering just a little too long, as though he feared she might disappear the second he looked away. Someone captured it, and the clip exploded online. Netizens screamed, "His is not acting, this is real love." But what truly set the internet on fire wasn't the trembling hand, it was the expression in his eyes, a mixture of care, admiration, protectiveness, and something so tender it makes even strangers blush. And hers. Hae-in looked up with those innocent eyes, and for a split second, she forgot the camera existed. Her smile softened, and the world stopped. That moment felt like peeking into a love story that wasn't supposed to be seen on screen. Their chemistry is electric, sparks so intense it feels like the atmosphere itself crackles. Their kiss scenes? Sweet to the point of chaos, the kind of sweetness that makes your heart pound uncontrollably, the kind that leaves viewers clutching their chests, whispering, "I can't take this anymore." But off-screen, they are even more lethal. He naturally shields her from crowded places. She naturally stands a little closer to him than necessary. He lowers his voice when speaking to her. She unconsciously follows his steps like gravity itself favors him. None of these are dramatic gestures, none are scripted, yet each one carries the weight of 1,000 unspoken promises, and that's why people can't stop watching them, because their sweetness is not loud, it's quiet, subtle. Real, the kind of sweetness that seeps into bones, the kind that makes people want to believe in love again. Some say it's all marketing, some say it's just good acting, but here's the truth, there are emotions that cannot be faked, no matter how skilled the actor is. The way he looks at her, like she's the only star in his sky, the way she smiles at him, like he's the only warmth she's ever known. This isn't the sweetness of a scripted romance, this is the sweetness of a heart choosing another heart, again and again, without hesitation. Huang Wenbo and Hae-in's story feels like a promise whispered by destiny. If you are patient, if you are brave, if you dare to believe, love will find its way to you too. Maybe that's why their fans say their love isn't special effects, it's real footage. And if life truly gives us only two real blessings, meeting the right person, and staying with them till the end, then Huang Wenbo and Hae-in are the living, breathing, heart melting proof. A love so sweet it doesn't just warm the heart, it melts it. But the part that truly made everyone believe in their destiny wasn't the kisses, the embraces, or the scripted confessions, it was the accidental tenderness, the kind of gentleness that no director could plan and no actor could force. Like the night they were filming the rain scene, the temperature dropped suddenly, and the wind cut through the set like tiny blades. The crew shivered in silence, but Hae-in, drenched from head to toe, continued smiling as if nothing could break her determination. She wrapped her arms around herself, her lips trembling slightly before anyone else reacted. Huang Wenbo stepped forward. He didn't grab a towel, he didn't shout for a either, he didn't make a scene. He simply removed his own coat, still warm from his body, and draped it over her shoulders, pulling the hood gently over her head like he was covering something fragile, precious, irreplaceable. The way he did, slow, careful, cherishing, the way a man touches something he knows he can't afford to lose. That clip leaked, and the internet broke. Fans screamed, "This is too loving, this isn't caretaking, this is love." And maybe they were right, because in his eyes, there was no hesitation, only instinct. In her expression, there was no awkwardness, only trust. But the sweetest moment came after, when she smiled up at him, her voice small but sincere. She asked, "Why do you always take care of me first?" He froze for a second, then laughed softly, "Because I can't watch you get cold." A simple sentence, yet it held worlds of meaning. It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't poetic, but it was real, and real emotions, spoken quietly, always hit the hardest later. In another interview, the host deliberately tried to create drama between you two. Who is more clingy when the cameras stop rolling? Hae-in opened her mouth to answer, but before she could speak, Wenbo calmly said, "Me." She whipped her head toward him, eyes wide. "You?" He leaned back in his chair, unfazed, smiling like he had just confessed to stealing a candy instead of a heart. "I get used to her presence too easily," he said. When she walks away, the set suddenly feels empty. The studio went silent for half a second, and then exploded fans. He's not acting at all. This is pure emotion, and maybe it was because every time he looked at her, the world around them blurred. Every time she laughed, his shoulders relaxed like her happiness was his safe haven. Every time she stumbled, even a little, he reached out without thinking. These weren't rehearsed moments, they were snapshots of something unspoken but undeniably strong, the kind of sweetness that doesn't just melt hearts, it invades them. But here's where it gets even more shocking. During the wrap-up ceremony, when everyone raised their glasses and celebrated the end of filming, someone jokingly shouted, "Come on. Say something to each other." Yiying giggled shyly, about to escape the spotlight, but Wenbo caught her wrist gently. Then, holding the microphone with one hand and her fingers with the other, he said, "Meeting her was the best part of this entire journey." Soft, slow, steady, his voice carried the weight of a confession he wasn't fully ready to say, but could no longer keep inside. Hae-in's expression froze, and her eyes shimmered faintly, like someone had just whispered a secret only her heart understood. In that one line, that one unguarded moment, it was enough to send fans into total meltdown. Comments flooded the screen. "Bro just went public. Right, those eyes fool no one. Help, I'm actually losing my mind." Shipping M. Because the truth is simple, even the best actors can't hide real affection when their walls fall in with them. The walls didn't just fall, they collapsed. Maybe life truly only gives two real blessings: meeting the right person, and staying with them until the end. And watching Wenbo and Hae-in, you can't help but wonder, maybe they've already found both. Thank you for watching my channel. See you in the next videos. Thanks.